This conference will now be recorded.
Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as quiet as we can. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as loud as we can. Hello! Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as slow as we can. Hello! Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as fast as we can. Hello. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as nice as we can. Hi, preschool friends. I'm so glad you could all join me today. So this week we have been talking all about insects and the different things that they do, how they communicate with each other, and different characteristics of them. So we're going to be doing some of that during circle time today too. But first, we're going to start with our question of the day. And our question is, how many people live in your house? Do you know how many people live in your house? You might have to count them to get that answer. I have 5 people living in my house. I have me, my husband, and then we have 2 boys and 1 girl. So we have 5 people living in our house. And you can have someone post in the comment section under this video how many people you have living in your house when you're able to count them. So lately, you've probably been hearing a lot of people talking about how we can keep our germs to ourselves. And you might have seen people wearing masks. And that's one way that we can keep our germs to ourselves. But another way is by covering our coughs and our sneezes. So today I was going to show you what happens when you sneeze and you don't cover it. So I made this today. Her name is Sneezy. And she came to school and she wasn't feeling well. And she's very sneezy and she's been coughing a lot. So when she sneezes, watch. You can see it spray. Here, I'll spray it at a tissue so you can see what happens. Shoo! You can see that the tissue got all wet. I even got some on my arm. My arm is wet. So if you were sitting by someone and they sneezed and they didn't cover their sneeze, you could get it all over you, like the germs and all the stuff that comes out of your mouth and your nose when you sneeze. But if you do something simple, like getting a Kleenex when you sneeze, shoo, you catch it all in the tissue. So that helps it from getting on your friends or your teacher or people in your family. And it helps keep those germs just in your body and you don't spread them to other people. Another thing that you can do is you can use your elbow. Now, when you sneeze like that, I'm going to show you. You might get your arm kind of gross. You might get some spit on it or some stuff from your nose, but that's okay because you can clean that off. I cleaned it right off with a tissue, and then I can go to the bathroom and I can wash it with soap and water. But that helps keep those germs just to myself. So we want to make sure we're covering our coughs and our sneezes with our elbow or with a tissue. So next we are going to talk about patterns. Who knows what a pattern is? A pattern is something that repeats itself over and over. So a pattern that you might know is just how your day goes. Maybe every day you get up and you have breakfast, and then maybe you play outside, play inside. You might eat some lunch and then have some quiet time, maybe you go to sleep, and then you have dinner, and then maybe a bath after that, and then you go to bed. And that might be something you do the same way every day, and that makes it a pattern. We can also see patterns in the things in the world around us. And one of those patterns that you might recognize is a zebra. Their stripes make a pattern. Black, white, black, white, black, white, all the way across their body. Black, white, black, white. So a pattern is something that just repeats itself over and over. So another pattern I was able to find in this book is a pattern that bees make. And we've been talking about insects, and we've learned a lot about bees, how they collect the nectar from the flowers, and they take it back to the hive, and they put it into the honeycombs, and they turn it into honey. And here is a picture of honeycomb. You can see that these shapes all put together make the honeycomb. So those shapes repeating over and over like that make patterns. So we are going to practice making some patterns, and you don't really need special things at home to make patterns. You can go on a nature hunt outside. You can use buttons if you have them at home. I'm going to use an ice cube tray just to show you how a pattern works, but you don't even have to use one of these. But if you have one, you can use it. Well, if your mom or dad says it's okay. Otherwise, you can just make a pattern on the table, on the ground. You can go outside and do them wherever you want. So I'm going to use an ice cube tray, and then I have some butterflies. And these are just things that I had here at school. And if you don't have them at home, it's okay, because you can make a pattern with anything that you can find. So you can go look for rocks and little flowers or even leaves and sticks. So I'm going to start. I'm going to put a blue butterfly, and then I'm going to put a green butterfly, and then a blue butterfly, and a green butterfly, and a blue butterfly. What do you think would come next? Did you guess a green butterfly? If you did, you're right. So we have blue, green, blue, green, blue, green, and that's a pattern. And I would complete that pattern by putting in a blue one. So that is a pattern where you just do one thing and then another, then the one thing, then another. So you just do two different things over and over. So you could do that with a rock and a flower. So you could do rock, flower, rock, flower, rock, flower, or anything else that you can find. Another pattern that you can make is when you do two of the same and then one different. So it goes like that. Yellow butterfly, orange butterfly. So how would we continue that pattern? You're right. We would do yellow butterfly, orange butterfly. Here they are. And if you don't have things that you can find around your home to use, you can even use paper and a marker. Now I'm using a whiteboard, and once again, it's not something that you have to use. You can use paper, or you can even draw in the dirt with a stick. It doesn't matter. You can create a pattern using anything. So I'm going to do circle, circle, line. Circle, circle, line. So you can just create your own patterns using markers, crayons, paper, or even just a pencil. You can do circle, little circle, big circle, little circle, big circle, little circle. So you can just create those patterns. Patterns help you to learn all those important things that you need to get ready for school. It helps with reading, it helps with math, and it helps you to keep those important routines during your day so you know what's going to happen next. We are going to start learning about letters and the sounds they make. So today I picked the letter A, and we are going to learn about Allie Alligator. Allie Alligator says ah, ah, and she goes like this. You take your arms and you make alligator arms and you say, Allie Alligator, ah, ah, ah. Allie Alligator, ah, ah, ah. So now you know that the letter A says ah is one of its sounds. So, like I said in the beginning of circle time, we have been talking about insects for like 2 weeks now, and we're going to keep talking about them because there is a lot of questions that we can ask about insects and a lot of information that we can find out. So this week we went on bug hunts and we looked for bugs. We learned about what characteristics a bug have, like what makes it special. Remember, they have antennas. They have 3 parts to their body. They have cold blood. They go through metamorphosis. Do you remember what metamorphosis means? You're right. It means they go through some kind of change. So like a caterpillar changes into a butterfly, that is metamorphosis. We also learned about how bugs talk to each other or communicate. So we learned that they can communicate with sound, like the cricket. Remember, they rub their wings together to make sound, or they can communicate with no sound, like using lights, like the lightning bug, or even dancing, like the bee. So today we are going to go on an adventure and look for some insects through our book. So this would be a good time to use your magnifying glass that came in your package. And you can use this to go on a bug hunt outside and look for any kinds of insects that you can find. And I would love to know what you find. So we are going to read this story today. It's called Insect Quest, Hide and Seek. What do you think this book's about? It had hide and seek in the title. Have you ever played hide and seek? Me too. I like being the person that gets to hide. I wonder if this book, Insect Quest Hide and Seek, means that some bugs are hiding. Let's read it and find out. And this book was put together by Clarissa Martinez and Aaron Seagraves. So the pictures in this book are real pictures, and they're the ones who wrote the words and put those pictures together. So let's find out what it's about. Here's the first page. She's kind of hiding. Insects have interesting ways of hiding from danger. Their bodies, colors, and markings help them camouflage or blend into their surroundings. So camouflage means they can, like the color of their bodies and the shapes of their bodies help them to look like the things around them. It means they hide in plain sight. They don't have to take a lot of time hiding. Their bodies help them to hide. That picture. Do you think you can find the insects that are hiding? Join these children in their insect quest and find out. There's something different about that leaf. Do you see it? Do you see anything different about that leaf? I'm going to look at it with my magnifying glass. Oh, I see it. There's something different about that leaf. Do you see it? I see it. Let's see. It was a moth. Look, it's a Luna moth. Luna moths are some of the largest moths in North America. That's where we live. Adults are over 4 inches wide because they are nocturnal. That means they wake up at nighttime. When it's dark, they're out flying around, and when it's sunny, they sleep. Luna moths are sometimes called moon moths. The word luna means moon in Spanish. It also said their wings are green to help the moth hide in the leaves. And Luna moths have eye spots on their wings to confuse predators. A predator is something that would want to eat the Luna moth. So these little circles right here are called eye spots. There's the next page. That's a funny looking branch on that tree. Take a closer look. What do you see? Do you see anything different about that branch? Let's find out. I spy a walking stick. That's what this insect is called, a walking stick. They almost look like a stick with legs. A walking stick is a type of insect whose color and body shape make it look like a stick on a tree. You might spy young walking sticks during the day when they are active, but adult ones are nocturnal. Do you remember? Nocturnal means they come out at night. It says their eyes are sensitive to sunlight. So that means sensitive means that the sunlight hurts their eyes. So they come out when it's dark. It says the walking stick is one of the world's largest insects. So it is really long. Is there something crawling on top of the yellow flower? You see something crawling on top of the yellow flower? It's so hard to see. What could it be? Do you know what it is? We've talked about that a few times already. Can you guess? Did you say a honeybee? If you did, you were right. In a honeybee colony, there are many different jobs. The queen bee lays eggs. Nurse bees feed the bee larvae. Bee larvae is like a little tiny baby bee, and it says baby bees look like worms. Worker bees build the honeycomb, and drones fertilize the eggs. They all work together to help the colony grow. A colony is what it's called where the bees all live together. Honeybees use honeycombs to lay their eggs. So there's the honeycomb, just like from the pattern book. What's that resting over there on those leaves? I see eyes and legs. What could it be? Use my magnifying glass again. Do you see it? Let's see what it is. I spy a grasshopper. Do you see grasshoppers at your house? They're hopping all over at the school right now, and they can jump really far. Grasshoppers love to eat plants, which means they can sometimes be pests in farms and gardens. That means they can kind of ruin your garden. So they might eat the leaves, and then that won't let the vegetables grow. When grasshoppers join together, they can eat an entire field of plants, ruining the hard work of farmers and gardeners. Grasshoppers are good jumpers, so good, in fact, that they can jump up to 20 times their own body length. That means they can jump really, really far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's play hide and seek with a butterfly. Can you see it? You see a butterfly in that picture? I don't either. I wonder where it is. Let's find out. It's called a leafwing butterfly. So their wings look just like a leaf. Leafwing butterflies are masters of disguise. When they fly, you can easily see their bright red and orange colors, but when they rest, their camouflage makes them blend right in with fallen leaves. Leafwing butterflies are difficult to spot because they typically live on trees or branches or even on the ground. Take a closer look. There in the grass, something silent and still. What do you see? Can you see it? I just saw one of these on the playground 2 days ago. I have a picture of it, but it's not a green one. It was brown. It's a praying mantis. Praying mantises' colors and bodies help them blend into the green leaves. They can turn their heads almost all the way around to see behind them. This helps praying mantises look around to find something tasty to eat. How far can you turn your head? How far can you turn your head? I can only turn mine that far. Can you do it farther? I would love it if you could have someone take a picture of you turning your head. Look at the beautiful flowers, but is there something more? Do you see it too? Can you see it there with the flowers? See what it is? It's a ladybug. Do you remember we read that story this week, the grouchy ladybug? And the ladybug wanted to fight with all the other animals that were much, much bigger than it until it got all the way to a whale. And then the whale slapped them right back to the beginning where they decided to be friendly to the other friendly ladybug. Not all ladybugs are red. Many are yellow or orange. These bright colors help them blend into flowers, but their colors and black spots also help to protect them by sending a message to predators. Stay away, I'm dangerous and don't taste good. So that's the end of that story. Now, ladybugs kind of come out when it's nice and warm. So sometimes you might see them outside or even in your house. Sometimes when it gets to be the end of summer, I have so many ladybugs in my house, or right in the springtime when the snow starts to melt and it starts to get warm, I have tons and tons of ladybugs. Do you have ladybugs in your house? Have you ever let one crawl up your arm? It kind of tickles. Then they just fly away. So that is the end of circle time. And next week we are going to have another one and we're going to continue to talk about insects and we're going to learn even more next week. So we're going to do our goodbye song now and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, goodbye. It's time to go. Goodbye, goodbye. It's time to go. See you later, alligator. Bye, 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 butterfly. See you next time, preschool friends.